So yesterday at 1 a.m., I posted a video about my initial reaction to a show called Min-Maxed. And I want to make this video now to finally tell you what I think about the first episode, which I watched today, and I have some thoughts about, especially after the criticism that has come out. And I've also watched other videos that respond to the criticism. And I am just going to tell you my initial reaction of the episode, what I thought about it being a D&D show. That's it. So without further ado, let's get into it. One of the most important aspects of a good D&D show is the Dungeon Master. And I think, from the first episode at least, that Mateo, or Tater the Bard, has done a great job in facilitating the story that we see through this episode. This was fun, it was chaotic, and he didn't strike me as the kind of DM that would be so rigid and go into nooks and crannies about the rules. He wanted to say yes, and it felt like it. I love that when it comes to D&D streams. He also has a great energy. I don't know how to explain it. I just enjoyed watching him facilitate the story. It also is kind of weird to see him facilitating a story like this when my previous experience with him was watching him do whiteboard stuff on TikTok. The other aspect I want to talk about is the group dynamics. These people all have their own unique characters. And at least what I felt watching the first episode was that these people are going to be good companions to each other during this campaign. They are not here to compete. They are here to tell a story together. And it felt like it. They were having fun being around this table. And it showed in the energy, in the dynamics. I really liked seeing the actions they took, and I'm not going to spoil stuff, but there are, even in this episode, some wild character dynamics between these people. And if this episode is an indication to what's to come, I think this is going to be a great season. The overall vibe that Min-Maxed gave me was fun and chaotic. And I think to holistically look at this show, it doesn't strike me as this kind of heavy fantasy, like serious, taking itself too seriously. It felt like a fun podcast that friends want to do around a table. And this is exactly the kind of show I want to watch. In terms of the set, I want to say, what a great job. This set with the skeletons behind and like this kind of like a jail setup. I don't really know, like a dungeon setup. Looks amazing. The digital layout is not confusing. I can see the Dungeon Master, I can see the players, and I can see them. I don't think it has to look professional. I don't think it has to look grand. I would expect it to be a professional layout, a professional setup in terms of like audio and video quality and lighting and all that. If this was a production like Dropout or Critical Role, or I don't know, something that has the backing of a big media company behind it. But these are people who came together to form a passion project for strangers on the internet to watch. And I think they did a pretty amazing job with what they have. Now, it's not all 100% perfect. I can say that there were a few situations where the audio was not right, and there were some cuts for editing. And I get that these are things that happen when you just start creating content, making your way. I have done this as well in terms of like my podcast, Geek Peak, that I was a part of for almost 5 years. We made a lot of mistakes in the first season, and then I got an editor when I could afford it. And even then I could afford it because of my day job, not because of money that I made from the podcast. So looking at it from that perspective, which is let's go fast, create fast, and get feedback from people, I think that's a better approach instead of like investing heavily into something that you don't even know if people are going to like. Most of my interviews with Brennan Lee Mulligan that I made when I didn't have an editor have more views than things that came after when I had a professional editor edit my videos. People didn't care too much about the quality of the video. What they cared more was the audio quality. And that's something that if I were to give some kind of constructive criticism, listen to the episode before you publish it. See if there are some things that you can actually fix. And that's something that I would do as well. I wouldn't give criticism for something that I wouldn't do myself. And even then, when you look at these kind of criticisms of the episode, when you look at editing stuff and audio and perhaps even camera angling and stuff like that, that adds more to the authenticity, in my opinion, than looking at this as a fault, because these people already have audiences of their own, and these people came to support this show. So they expect it not to be perfect from day one. And if you are going to look at it as something that needs to be perfect from day one, you're not in the right headspace to judge this show. So those were all the things I wanted to say about the first episode of Min Maxed. I enjoyed it very much and I want to watch the next one, and I'll also tag all of them below if you are discovering my video before you discovered their video, so you can go watch it and decide for yourself if you want to commit to watching the next one when it comes in, I think, less than 2 weeks. But yeah, I would enjoy it very much. Thank you so much for watching, and check out the description of this video to find all the information I could find about where you can follow and subscribe to the MinMax channel and crew. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.